Today I'm going to be reacting to a little bit of a different thing. It's a video called Weird Things About Finland That You'll Love. And it's a bit different. It's not music. It's just a type of like way to learn some stuff, about Finland. And being that a lot of the people that watch my channel are from Finland, I figured it would be an interesting thing to do. So I'm going to do it. And if you want to share something from, like, if you're from Finland, if you're from a different country and you've visited Finland, then feel free in the comments to share what it is that you find super weird or super interesting, or that you really enjoyed when you went to Finland. Feel free to share that in the comments and let me know. I would love to be able to visit Finland someday. That would be so cool to me to get to see that. And yeah, but let's jump into it and see what we have here and what they say. Right, let's go.
Hello, I'm Joel Willens. I'm the creator of Very Finished Problems and the creative director of Ink Tank Media. And here we are in the Ink Tank Media offices on Ystävänpäivä, or Valentine's Day. And to celebrate this special day, we've decided to sit down and share with the world the wonderful, weird, or weirdly wonderful things that we love about Finland. So sit back and enjoy these insights from people around the world. The most wonderfully weird thing that I have fallen in love with in Finland is, drum roll, Lolu. As you can see, I'm a big fan of sauna, but one thing I specifically like about sauna is the hiss and the sizzle and the feeling you get when you're hit by a Lolu cloud. There is literally nothing like it in the world. So thank you, Finland. Kiitos tosi paljon for introducing me to this wonderful feeling.
As an American who knows nothing about Finnish saunas, I have no idea what he's talking about. I know what saunas are. I know what sizzles are like here. Here a lot of gyms have saunas. Like if you go to a certain level like of gym, you're gonna have access to a sauna or a steam room, and they're usually separate. You either have a dry sauna or you have a steam room, and a lot of people will just go in there either right before a workout or right after a workout for about 10 minutes and bounce. It's just kind of I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, saunas are not a big deal in the US at all. So I think that's a very different thing. But anyway.
Oh, hey. I'm Valha Furs. I'm a visual designer. And the most wonderful thing I love about Finland is nature. Many years ago, I came to Lapland in summer for camping, and it was freezing. But then when we made a fireplace and we were having our evening tea and we were watching sunset, it actually turned out into a sunrise. And the water was clean in the lake, and we had a family of reindeers coming, and I thought, it could be a nice place to live.
Interesting. Yeah, nature is definitely something that I've picked up, like just watching like music videos and stuff. It's something that is incorporated a lot more than I've noticed from other bands from America or other parts of the country. European bands tend to like take nature very, I don't know if seriously is the right word, but like they include nature in very different ways than we would consider it. And I find it refreshing to see just the emphasis on nature and living in nature more than what we do here. Because like, man, we have to travel a bit to get into nature, really. Like, if we really wanted to leave society behind, we would probably need to travel hours to get somewhere that's not like commercialized. And I live in a fairly big city, and not city. I live in the suburbs of a big city that it takes about an hour to get out of the city, even like regardless of what direction you're going. Like, you got to drive for an hour to find your way elsewhere. And I think I grew up in the country. Like, I grew up in a small town in New Jersey. So it's the Northeast United States. And now I live in the Southwest. So it's very different. The geography is different. The nature that you do see is different. Like, where we live, there aren't many trees that you could compare to like the Northeast of the United States. The Northeast of the United States and much of the North United States has huge trees, like tall trees that have been growing for years and years and years and years and years. And the tallest trees that we have in the Southwest are nowhere near as tall. Specifically where, like, if I'm looking at right where we live, we have orange trees, and orange trees they're decent sized trees, but they're not massive trees that you would really consider like a forest to be made of. We'd have to drive about an hour and a half to get to where you really can find a wooded area, if you will. And from music videos from Nightwish or Insomnium or some of the other bands that I've watched from Finland and Sweden and that area of the world, there's a much higher emphasis on nature, and the nature that they show, at least, is very, to me, very therapeutic, which is consistent with what I am aware of in Finland, that people do say they love a lot, is like she just said, nature.
Hi, my name is Laura, and the wonderfully weird thing I love most about Finland is ice swimming. I don't think there are that many nations that go for the whole feeling you get when you get into the cold water and you're in that shock state and you can't breathe. But that's the trick of it, because you're just trying to catch your breath, and in that moment you can't think of anything else, and that's the wonderful part of it. There's just complete silence.
Yeah, that is ice swimming. So when I was 16, I went to Norway, and I remember swimming in the Black Sea. I think it was the Black Sea. I remember how cold it was, and I was just like, I'm dying. But yeah, ice swimming. We have ice baths that, like, you'll do for fitness stuff, like health benefits to getting in super cold water for a certain amount of time. Supposedly there are. I'm not a health nut or a nutrition coach or anything, so don't ask me what those statistics are. But that's interesting. I guess she's probably talking about more of a, like, getting in the water outside thing, and I'm picturing like when you get in a horse trough or big bathtub filled with bags of ice type thing. So very different thing. But yeah, some things are lost in translation. Wales.
Hi, I'm Joe, and the thing I love about Finland the most is the fact that you can have space. I'm from Wales in the UK, and it's one of the most densely populated countries in the world, the UK is, so there's people everywhere. I like to be alone sometimes, so I just like to wander through the woods and stuff, and I can do that here. Hopefully I won't get lost because there'll be nobody there to save me. But I love that, yeah, I just love to get away and I love to think, and it's actually surprising when I see somebody walk in here. So it's a nice place, great place to go on the run if you're a criminal. Think of that. That's what I love about Finland.
Is that you can be a criminal? No. That's interesting. America obviously is huge. Like there's so much space in America, but at the same time, we all flock to the same spots. Like you have Los Angeles, you have New York City, you have Miami. You have these big cities that tons of people go to. And even the city I'm in is pretty big, but I wouldn't say we're like necessarily completely on top of each other. There are parts of the city that are very on top of each other, and you can walk 2 steps to your left and you are on top of somebody. But where we live more in the suburbs area, like we're in a neighborhood, the neighborhood has like a little park type thing. You can walk around the neighborhood and you won't necessarily run into anybody. But it's definitely a different vibe than what you get and what he's talking about. Like you would never, like there would be somebody to find you, like you get run into immediately, almost. Like, yeah, going to America to become a criminal is not the best move. The only way you're going to do that is if you become a politician. But I digress.
I'm Anna, and the most wonderful thing about Finland, which some people might consider weird, but I think well, it's weird to maybe foreigners, but not Finns, is the equality. That everyone is basically the same, and you don't consider someone better than somebody else if they are richer or if they somehow have a better status in society, because it's not a class society. And a great example of this is, for example, that you can find the president of Finland having coffee in the market square.
So there you...
That is interesting. Should we talk about class society or not? That's a good question, because you have India, which has the caste system, which is really, I don't know how impactful that is now. Like, I don't know how much the caste system in India plays a role in it anymore, and I won't speak to that because I don't know anything about it. But in America, you definitely have classes. You have like the homeless, then you have poor people, then you have lower middle class, upper middle class, I guess, is in between. And then you have the rich, the richer, the wealthy, and then the 1%. And I guess I can kind of break it down. I would say like the poor class, what I would consider poor would be people that make probably under $50,000 would be considered like poor as far as family income goes. Above that, you have lower middle class, which would be within that range of poor up to like $70,000 a year. And then middle class would be 70 to like $150,000 in my head, at least 70 to $150,000 a year. Upper middle class would be like 150 up to 300,000, something like that would be upper middle class. And then rich would be like 300s up to that's where it becomes tricky, right? Because it's like, how much do you consider wealthy, you know, in our society, at least? Like, I would say 500,000, maybe 750,000 at the top for wealthy. But then when you start considering people like that, how many people just sit at that value, you know? Like, a lot of people that get into that type of money will then reinvest it, and their equity, their value is going to go up drastically because of how they choose to leverage the money they have. And then the 1% will just jump to the 1% that are, you know, billionaires or whatever. It's not 1%, it's less than that. But I don't know what we call them. Like, I don't know what you would title the class besides the elite, the ultra uber wealthy, the Jeff Bezoses and Elon Musks and like that. But if I were to break down class, I would break it down like that. And you do see division, like between classes. I would say that, like she was saying, if you saw the president of the United States at a coffee shop, there would be tons of paparazzi and like reporters and people trying to get pictures and probably yell at him due to the current state of things in America. And you have celebrities that have no business being celebrities, and there are definitely people that are all about the like the Kardashians, like chasing the Kardashians or chasing Drake or Usher or whatever. I don't know why I think of rappers as celebrities, because I guess they play into that more than other musicians. But I don't know. America is a mix, because a lot of us could care less, you know? Like, if I saw someone that was super rich and I had no reason to like I wouldn't treat somebody I wouldn't treat somebody different based on how much money they have necessarily. Like, as long as you are showing me respect and you're acting appropriately towards me and my family, I will treat you with respect and kindness, and I'll start a conversation with you if you want to talk. If you don't, then we don't have to talk. But I think there's a lot of Americans that don't care about the hype of being famous or treating people special. And then there's a lot of Americans that also do care, but they're very separate, and there's a big divide as far as what their moral beliefs are and what their religious beliefs are and what they value in life are. I don't know. It's there are tangents you could go on for days here, but those are interesting things that I think would be are worth considering. So yeah, that's my take on that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and leave your comments below if you have anything you want to tell me or like suggest that I look at, react to, talk about, whatever. You let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Peace.